What's up guys, it's Calrus. Classic is officially 6 days away and I hope everyone is as excited as I am. If you're like me and you're gonna go hard in Classic WoW, I recommend picking engineering as one of your primary professions. To help you with that, I've put together this little overview of the best gadgets available to you at 60. Most of these items are gonna be beyond overpowered in PvP, but some are also gonna be quite good for PvE. As a final mention before we jump into it, engineering is split into two different branches in Classic WoW, Goblin and Gnomish engineering. These are not faction based and you can pick whichever you prefer, regardless of being an orc or perhaps a human. Also keep in mind that most of these items only require specialization to craft, but not actual use. So in theory you can roll Goblin engineering, craft all the gadgets you need, then roll Gnomish engineering and get all the items from that as well. Quite expensive and tedious to do, but I am definitely going to do it. Up to you though. Anyway, this video is going to be long unless we jump right into it, so let's do just that. The first item we're going to talk about is the Goblin rocket helmet. As the name implies, this is available to Goblin engineers only. It's a 30-second sap on a 20-minute cooldown, with no chance of backfiring. It's amazing for 2v1s, and the tiny knockback on the user is irrelevant, so don't worry about that part. This item has use in both PvE and PvP and is a must-have for anyone who wants to take on multiple people in world PvP. Alright, secondly we have the Gnomish cloaking device. This item is less overpowered per se, but it provides insane value in some niche scenarios. It can be used to evade mobs when overpulling, either while leveling or at 60, to sneak by scary packs in dungeons or raids, ninja cap flags in BGs, or simply to escape a ganker in world PvP. All in all, a very useful item, available for Gnomish engineers only. Third on the list we have the Goblin and Gnomish rocket boots. They're essentially the same item, but the Goblin rocket boots have a shorter cooldown and are indeed a tiny bit faster, although at the cost of backfiring more often than their Gnomish counterpart. They increase your run speed by 70% for 20 seconds, and are very valuable when you're running around in places where you can't mount, such as caves or dungeons. Other places include in battlegrounds to escape someone, or to carry a flag across a highly populated area. Rocket boots are especially good when combined with the next item we're going to be talking about, which is the parachute cloak. The parachute cloak reduces your falling speed for 10 seconds and can be used every 30 minutes. If you use this with the rocket boots as you jump off the cliff at Lumber Mill in the Arathe Basin or the graveyard in Warson Gulch, you can traverse the map with insane speed. The item is available to both Gnomish and Goblin engineers, so there is no excuse for not getting this one. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Gnomish mind control cap. To be quite honest, this item is more fun than it is overpowered. That being said, it is a very funny item that you can use to grief people with. You could use it to run your fence off a cliff in duels, or if you're an alliance rogue for instance, you could go to Orgrimmar and mind control people to make all the guards attack them. The sky really is the limit for the amount of fun that you can get out of this gimmicky headpiece. It's available for Gnomish engineers only. Alright, don't click off the video yet, we still have a lot more to cover. Here we go with number 6, the reflect trinkets. These allow you to reflect spells back to their original caster, dealing damage to them instead of you. You can reflect fire, frost and shadow spells, and you can do it every 5 minutes. These trinkets are absolutely insane in PvP, but also have uses in PvE. As a fun side note, the shadow reflector was actually used to one-shot Emerus during original vanilla, because he casted a spell called Corruption of the Earth, which dealt damage equal to 20% of the target's health every 2 seconds. I do have doubts that we'll be able to do that come Classic though, so the main use for this trinket is going to be against mages or warlocks, to reflect a Pyro combo, or perhaps a Soulfire or a big Shatter Frostbolt. As a final mention, these trinkets also give you some nice resistances, which can come in use for the beginning of a new raid tier. All in all, a must-have for anyone who's looking to go Big D in Classic WoW. They're available for both Goblin and Gnomish engineers. Alright, let's talk about the Gnomish Harm Prevention Belt. This is a leather item, so sorry clothies, you won't be able to use this. It essentially just gives you a power word shield that lasts for 10 minutes or until broken. It's a cool gimmicky item, although maybe not as useful as some of the formerly mentioned ones. Still very good to swap into this item once an hour for that extra little bit of damage reduction in PvP. It's also very good if you plan on leveling engineering before you get to 60, since you can use it to help you solo elites while leveling. It's available for gnomish engineers only. Moving on, we have the Cat's Eye Ultra Goggles. These increase your stealth detection whenever equipped, and is therefore amazing to spot rogues and druids that are lurking in your vicinity. I recommend getting a good keybind for equipping this whenever someone is lurking in stealth nearby. An absolute must-have item, available for both gnomish and goblin engineers. Next item is the Goblin Charge. This item is absolutely insane for PvE, as it deals a lot of AoE damage. It's also really good in large-scale world PvP or in battlegrounds where there are many players in the area. Available to goblin engineers only. Alright, we've got a list to get through, and at number 10 we have the Gnomish Death Ray. This item deals an insane amount of burst damage and should be equipped and used whenever off cooldown. This item can be used at range and could crit for as much as 10k in the early days of vanilla. It got nerfed in 1.12 and is probably gonna crit for around 4k come classic. Still, an insane amount of damage and enough to one-shot some level 60s. It has a 4-second cast time and deals a little bit of damage to the user as well. Therefore, it shouldn't be used if you're under 1500 HP. An absolutely insane item, really fun, and really freaking overpowered. You need to get this. Next up, we have the Gnomish Netomatic Projector. This trinket is available to gnomish engineers only, and it's gonna be great for melee against mages, hunters, and the likes. It immobilizes the target for 10 seconds and acts as a nice little gap closer available for use every 10 minutes. It has a small chance of netting yourself instead of the target, although it's always worthwhile using, the chance considered. An absolute must-have for PvP, although has less overall uses in PvE. Next up, we have the Gnomish Battle Chicken. This trinket summons a pet to fight by your side for the next 90 seconds. Since many encounters are gonna be around this duration, it's actually one of your best trinkets for raiding. Although as the phases progress and stronger trinkets become available, this is gonna start to fall behind. Still, it's gonna be an amazing item for PvP throughout Classic, since it deals a lot of damage and you can always swap away from it whenever it is on cooldown. It's available for gnomish engineers only, and the cool thing is that the chicken scales with your engineering skill level. So if you have 260 engineering skill, you'll have a level 52 chicken, and if you have say 290, it's gonna be level 58. If you somehow manage to get your skill up to 290 at level, 44, your chicken is gonna be insanely overpowered, since the chicken is gonna be able to see enemy rogues in stealth, and it's gonna deal a crap ton of damage. It also taunts enemies off you, so it's very useful in solo PvE content. Alright guys, 2 more items on the list, stick with me. Next up, we have the Mechanical Dragonling. This item is essentially the same as the Gnomish Battle Chicken, although the Dragonling does a little bit more burst damage, but at the cost of a longer cooldown. It's great for the same reasons as the previously mentioned Battle Chicken, although this is available to Goblin engineers as well. Absolutely amazing item that's gonna be insanely overpowered on a level 39 twink, but also quite good at 60. Last up, we have the Thorium Grenades, and the more commonly known Iron Grenades, both of which are available to both gnomish and goblin engineers. They're essentially the same item, but the Thorium Grenades deal a bit more damage. So any hardcore classic PvPer are gonna be going for these. Both items stun the target for 3 seconds though, which is of course the primary reason you want these anyway. It also stuns other enemies in a 3-yard radius, so it's really good in large scale world PvP. Or to help your tank recover in a difficult dungeon or raid trash pack. Alright guys, that wraps up the video. Like I said earlier, Classic is only 6 days away. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go buy loads of frozen pizzas and energy drinks, do some house cleaning, and prepare for nerding out for a week straight. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, peace.